So tonight we're going to talk about how to be hyper-focused in 2025, and all with an effort to keeping it together. I'm not even talking tonight about the news or, the changing of the guard. I'm talking about us, period, exclamation point. And so, yeah, let's just get into these questions. I'll start off with the 5 that I want all of us to pay attention to. And I guess I'll give some personal antidotes, and I want to hear yours as well. But they're really simple, and I really don't want us to, we don't need to belabor this. And so I'm quickly going to go over number 1. The first thing I want us to write down, prioritize. I don't care if you write it on an index card, a napkin, a piece of paper, whatever, but I want you to write down first and foremost, what and who, or what and or who makes you unhappy. Yes, I'm starting with being unhappy. What occurs in your life that when this thing happens or this person comes around gives you a sense of unease, unhappiness, dread, all of those things. And the next question is real simple. What actions? Because we're about that action now. We're about that action. What action can you take to either decrease it or eliminate it altogether, right? So case in point, I'll go real quick with me. And I want everyone to answer these 5 questions, please. And so first I want to know what and or who makes you unhappy. And for me, what makes me unhappy is the news, the corporate media news. It makes me unhappy. Something that used to bring me so much joy because I did more than just listen to the stories. I evaluated the journalists. Like, I enjoy journalism and I enjoy watching commentators deliver. And so what used to bring me so much joy, it brings me just the opposite. I am so unhappy when I watch corporate news media because they all seem like robots. They all seem like they're being told what to say and how to say it, right? It doesn't seem authentic at all. So what have I done? I've decided now I can't eliminate it altogether. Unfortunately, every time I turn on the channel or every time I open up any, social media site, it's going to be there. But I have drastically decreased my intake of corporate news. And so it can be anything from the news, it can be being unhealthy, it can be feeling stuck in a place, it can be so many things. So I definitely, and I haven't even talked about people, right? I'm gonna keep that private or these public here channels. But yeah, for me, first and foremost is corporate news media. So we want to know what makes you unhappy and what actions can you take to decrease it or eliminate it. Sometimes we know it's hard to completely eliminate everything that makes you unhappy, especially if they live in your household or if you have, if it's someplace you have to go to work every day. Immediate elimination is not always a solution, but definitely how can you decrease it? And then follow that question up by what makes you happy? What and or who makes you happy? So again, what is that thing that brings you joy that, if you're feeling down, you get a like a dopamine, a shot of dopamine, right? And again, it could be a person, place, or thing, right? And so, but we just sometimes don't even acknowledge what those things are. So for me, I'll just give you another simple example. Nature, being amongst trees, being in beautiful arrangements. Now, I can't be around all the flowers because I do have allergies, but immersing myself in natural environments, or rather it's the sand and the beach, rather it's the botanical gardens, right? Rather it's spending time just listening to the birds chirp someplace. That brings me so much happiness, so much joy. And I then ask myself, how can I increase that person, place, or thing? Or how can I at least preserve it and or sustain it, right? Because sometimes it's not always logical to, especially if you do something, prioritize it, right? It's not always logical that you can increase it, but making sure that you're doing everything you can to preserve and or sustain it. So those two are combined, right? So what or who makes you unhappy? What actions, right? What actions can you take to decrease it or eliminate it altogether? What or who makes you happy? What actions can you take to increase it or at least preserve it and or sustain it? Then, based on those answers, you want to ask yourself, do you need help to accomplish any of those things, right? Is it something that you can do on your own, or is it something that when you try to do it on your own, you get stuck, you get overwhelmed? So again, it can be something related to health, right? So if you know being overweight makes you unhappy, and then you think about the things that you can to, decrease that unhappiness. So losing weight is a way that it can help to eliminate that feeling of unhappiness. But is it something that you can do by yourself, or do you need help? And help can come in all different forms. It can come from a friend that you enlist. A lot of times we just don't ask for the help. A lot of times we just suffer in silence, when on the other side of it, there are friends, family members, associates, community groups, online communities that are willing to walk this walk with you. So is it something that you can do on your own, or you feel you tried too many times and you know that you need assistance? Then, so that was question number 3. Question number 4 would then be, if you think you need help, who can you get to help? And don't just think of one person. Try to put together a list just in case plan A doesn't work. It's all about having options, right? And that's what we talk about here. Having options is a sense of freedom, because if plan A doesn't work, then you just go down the list of plan B. So maybe your initial thought is that you will enlist your sister because your sister is usually there for you and blah, 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 blah. And maybe your sister starts out being there for you, but then something happens in your sister's life that she can no longer be there for you. It's not personal. And we have to acknowledge and accept that everybody goes through things at different times, but that shouldn't stop you from doing or getting to the place that you want to be. So if your sister falls off, who's next on that list? If they can't do it, who's next on that list? And the who doesn't have to be a single solitary person. I kind of already gave it away. It could be a community, right? It can be an online chat, or, with people that you know and trust, not no random people you've never seen a face or anything like that. I don't suggest that, but put together a list of who can help you. And then finally, you have to put a time frame to it. You have to put a time frame to get this accomplished. And again, it could be bite-sized time frames. It doesn't have to be by the end. And I prefer that it's not by the end of the year, I'm going to start going to the beach, or I'm going to start spending more time with nature, or I'm going to eliminate being around these people. Make it very specific time frames that are easy to look back on and see how you've accomplished them, right? So it's called having SMART goals. Let me know if you know what having SMART goals is. It's acronym SMART. I'm not going to mess that one up. And I practice this as much as I can in as many areas of my life, including this marathon live, right? So if you know what the acronym stands for, put it in the comment. I'll wait to define it. Let me see what my people are saying. Cynthia, yep, specific, measurable, attainable, yeah, realistic, and timely. And sometimes the word attainable can be interchanged with the word achievable. So if you hear it either way, it's accurate. And then we're going to get into that in a second. This is all based in SMART goal principles. It works. Big companies use this to stay on brand, to stay on target, and to meet their goals. Individuals use it to, when it comes to starting a fitness program, to starting a business, et cetera, et cetera. So we need to start implementing things that work in our daily lives. So SMART goals just simply mean specific. And what does specific mean? Basically, you don't want it to be all willy-nilly. Like your goal shouldn't be like, oh, I think I want to blah, blah, blah. No, it's I want to, or I need to, or I will, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, it needs to also be measurable. So that's the M in SMART. It makes it easier to track your progress and to know when you have achieved the desired results or where you are in the process. it's a great mindset to have, and it's a great strategy to use. The A stands for achievable or attainable. And that's just saying, like, you can't have unrealistic goals. Like, if your goal is to become a millionaire in 30 days, that is what we deem as unrealistic. If your goal is to lose 100 pounds in 30 days without you being ill, that is unrealistic, right? And the quickest way to, make sure that's true is ask yourself, just say to yourself, hey, self, is this something that I can, truly accomplish? Is this something that I feel confident that I can accomplish? And then you also have to make sure that they're relevant. So relevant just means relevant to you, not relevant to Susie, not relevant to Sam, not relevant to the church, not relevant to your job. It's relevant to you. And you can figure that out by asking yourself, why am I setting this as a goal? Why am I setting this as a goal, right? So you're being introspective, right? And so the last thing is it has to be time bound or timely. And that just means that you are going to say, I am going to start this thing on Tuesday. And then the goal is to finish it by this day. You're committing to yourself that you're going to finish by a certain time. And then you could do like bite-sized pieces. Like, so if by the end of the month, you're going to do whatever the thing is, you can do weekly check-ins to see where you are on the, in the process. So the 5 questions, once again, that we should be asking ourselves, not only at the top of the year, but, do a retrospective every, I like to say every 28 days, every 4 weeks, or at least every month, whatever time frame works best for you. You want to ask yourself, what and/or who makes you unhappy? We're going to start there first, because that's what you need to attack first. And part of that question is, what action can you take to either decrease it or eliminate it? So hopefully that made sense.
Don't forget to subscribe to become part of the GEMNATION family. Listen, we have to stay ready so we don't have to get ready. Also, check out the Stay Ready playlist and this video that you may also like. See you on the next video.